welcome back to RBG Gold Rush. We have another great Castlevania run of Dawn of Sorrows, glitchless. So Jupiter, if you want to take it away on another run.
Yeah, lots to talk about with this category. I love Dawn of Sorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So time starts at 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Dawn of Sorrow. This is the sequel to Aria of Sorrow. And this is the glitchless category, which is my favorite way to play. There are a lot of really cool things about this category, a lot of movement you don't see anywhere else, but there are some downsides. Some difficulties that we'll talk about as we get there. But yeah, the main form of movement here is backdash canceling. That's what we're going to be using for the first 10 or so minutes. So in this game, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really want somebody to make a video of speedruns, but in real life, where they have to do all these movements in real life.
Yeah, it would be tough. You'd have to be pretty athletic for that. But yeah, in this game, much like in Aria, every enemy can drop a soul and it's random. And in this game, the soul drop rates are very low. However, for a speedrun, we still need to get a whole bunch of souls. So, luck plays a big part in this run. For example, I need an axe armor soul. There's about a 25% chance you get one at the start if you kill those 4 axe armors. We did not get it, but that's fine. There's a really nice farming spot later on. Yeah, this is the first boss, the flying armor. This is not a good pattern. There it is. And here's our first touchscreen gimmick. So this is the first of the DS Castlevanias, and I guess they felt a need to shoehorn in some touchscreen mechanics to capitalize on the new hardware. So whenever you defeat a boss, you have to draw a seal symbol. If you do not draw this correctly, you have to continue fighting the boss, who gets, I think, 20% of its HP back. So it's important that you get that first try, but I often do miss those, especially the later ones, which get a lot more complicated.
I definitely don't remember the handwriting recognition software being great on the DS.
It was early days, I feel, for that kind of technology in gaming, so yeah, not the best, not the most responsive. As far as little pieces of speed tech go, you'll also notice I'm sliding off of edges. It's a little bit faster. But now we're going to head into the Wizardry Lab. I love this song. This is one of my favorites. Speaking of good music.
Yeah, I need just like a master compilation of all the Castlevania music, like on vinyl.
Okay, didn't get lucky there either. So in this room coming up, we're going to have to farm an axe armor soul. So to give you a sense of what we're up against for this run, this is one of the more common souls in the whole game, and it's about 7%. So the current record for this category is about 44 minutes, and I got the estimate at 55. This farming, it's just kind of a part of Dawn. It's built into its DNA. So it's kind of cool that that's in a speedrun, but we don't want these to take too long if we can avoid it.
Is it completely RNG, or is there anything you can kind of do to manipulate?
There we go. That's a great question. So the way it works in this game, there is no way at all to manipulate it. There are actually 2 separate RNG trackers going on. There's the normal one, and then there's one that I think is based on the game's internal clock, and it changes every frame. So yeah, unfortunately, for RTA purposes, it's totally random. Although if you're hacking or if you have like a task that you're making, you can manipulate it. But otherwise, it's out of our hands. Okay, so this is Balor. Pretty easy fight, but there's one attack, the laser attack, that can kill me, so... Yeah, it's that one right there. We're gonna try not to get hit by that.
Yeah, something firing my laser army.
And you can see that axe armor soul we picked up is actually already pretty good for combat. We're getting in triple hits of 22, which is nice. And there we go. Here's some more touchscreen shenanigans. You have to break these blocks by using the touchscreen. No other way to break them. Now there's actually a new strat to this category that is not in the record. But if you get a certain soul drop, it can save a good kind of 20 to 30 seconds early game. So I'm going to go for it. But it's only about a 1 in 5 that you get it over the course of 4 enemies. So I'm not going to count on it, but it would be nice. Okay, here we go. This pig enemy called the Slaughterer drops a soul that's very good, but it's pretty rare. Nah, we didn't get it. But basically what that does, you can do a pretty strong punch attack. It's a little bit better than the axe early. But we will go without it.
It's awfully nice of them to just miss you with those spears.
Yeah, that works out. Kind of a nice, cozy ride. Alright, we're gonna pop in here, take a quick save. So this run is quite long, and many sections are quite dangerous, so I'll take some periodic safety saves, just in case. Gonna activate that warp. That's one we'll use a couple of times over the course of the run. And finally, we're gonna get some armor here. Not great, but it'll do.
There's a little conversation in the chat right now about how good this game looks for an early DS game and how much they were able to pull off with the art.
Yeah, the sprite work really is fantastic, isn't it? I think this game's kind of a treat for the eyes and it's a treat for the ears. I think that's one of the reasons I enjoy speedrunning it so much. Okay, so in the chapel there are actually 2 boss fights here. There's Dimitri and there's Malthus. Dimitri's pretty easy, but Malthus is actually a very RNG intensive boss. It doesn't matter so much for here, but like if you were going for a record pace run, that can actually be a reset point if you get bad luck. Gonna manipulate that Valkyrie. Ooh, that's a bad spawn. Okay. I think I was able to dodge it.
And if anybody here is new to marathons and might be curious as to why things are different when you're doing this on your own as opposed to marathon runs, it's not always about time in a marathon run. It's largely about showcasing the game and showcasing the speedrun. And while we enjoy when we have PBs and world records on stream, a lot of the time it's more about making the game look good.
Exactly right, and it's kind of like a balance. You know, you want to show off all the cool tricks, so you also want to play safe. You don't want to go for like a 10-frame save and then lose the run. Put the marathon back 30 minutes. That's a worst case scenario. I think every runner dreads that. But yeah, don't worry, we'll be showing off a lot of really cool strats, just with a little bit of safety thrown in as well. Okay, so here's Malphus. This is a bird boss, and Malphus likes to fly up. We're gonna hope to see as little of that as possible. That's the worst possible start. Great. Thanks, Malphus. So yeah, you want Malphus grounded as long as possible. That's good. Nice, okay. So despite the terrible start, that ended up being above average, which is good. And now we get double jump. And we're no longer going to do regular backdash canceling. Instead, we're going to get some new movement tech, which is the dive kick. And you can chain backdashes into dive kick like this. It's really unique movement for a Metroidvania. And it's one of the reasons I like this game as much as I do. The movement's quite interesting.
It definitely looks super awesome on stream.
So yeah, we're going to be sticking with this for a while. Okay, but I'm going to pick up a couple of pieces of gear that boost my strength. Here's one, the power belt. You know, I'm going to grab a potion over here for safety.
This audio, though, so beautiful.
And here we get a nice sword upgrade. The long sword. Much better than the blunt sword we were using. Something I should mention about this game. It's a little bit... I don't want to put this. I don't want to be too negative. But there's kind of a lack of weapons that you can find just lying around. It's not like a bad thing, but basically the game wants you to grind for souls and then upgrade the weapons you can find into like end game tier equipment. But it's a speedrun, so we don't got time for that. Weapon synthesis is very slow. So instead, we're gonna have to rely on what they happen to give us, and typically those weapons are not very good.
It's a bit like Ratchet and Clank game in that aspect.
So I'm actually not familiar with Ratchet and Clank. Tell me about it. How does it work in that?
So your weapons actually level up as you go and they gain higher stats and better abilities. So one of the things is that you end up in the speedrun having insanely low tier weapons but having to fight bosses.
Oh, I see. That's exactly the same way here. Yeah. There are some workarounds, but it's going to be rough going for a little bit. So this boss, there is a manip. You jump behind before the attack.
With the red hair and the fire, he's just making me think of Wheeler from Captain Planet.
So yeah, Dario, that was pretty easy. Nice fight. I got some bad news though. It's time for another farm, and this one is rough. This one can make the difference between like a sub 50 and a 55. This is the Devil's Soul. This soul, I'll explain more as we go here, but it's really, really good. And this is one of the reasons we can kind of get by with bad weapons. So this one's 100% required. Unfortunately, this enemy takes a while to kill, and it's a 5% drop. First try. No first try.
Let's get bless RNGs in chat.
Okay, not yet. So basically the way it works, I ran the numbers on this a while back. For every MP bar that I go through, before I have to hit the save, it's basically a 50-50 shot that you get it. So in terms of like the coin flip, we're 0 for 1 right now. Let's see if we can get it on this next coin flip. Oh, there we go. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Very slightly below average. But yeah, what that soul does, it's almost like a risk-reward soul. It greatly increases Soma's strength. The downside is it drains your MP every second or so. So we often fight bosses at low HP. But the trade-off is definitely worth it for a speedrun. Okay, so now it's time to talk a little bit about something. This category is called glitchless. What is a glitch, really? I mean, if you think about it, like, what does it even mean? This trick coming up, many people are like, wait a minute, this is a glitchless run, what are you doing? We're gonna exploit the fact that a certain weapon special, that cuddle I picked up, lets you activate buttons from across the wall. Now the community has decided that this trick is more of an exploit than a glitch because you're not doing anything unintended. In fact, there have been players who have reported when they were playing this game casually for the first time, this is what they thought you were supposed to do. So, it's a little controversial, that trick, but we do allow it. That makes the run a good 20 minutes faster. Oh, this is bad. This room is terrible. No! It's Medusa Head and Imps, and it's all really bad.
Just the best characters in the game right there, the best enemy types.
Yeah, this is a very classic clock tower with all the bad enemies. Okay, that's alright. That went okay. This is not the right way. But yeah, you were not supposed to be here at this point. You're supposed to go fight a couple other bosses first. But because of that exploit that we used, you can go here early. And that creates a problem, right? It's like not only do we have pretty bad weapons, but now we're actually pretty underleveled to boot. I'm gonna play this safe. I'm not super big fan of my HP right here. Yep. And we do have a pretty tricky fight coming up. A well-known JoJo reference, actually. Boss named Zephyr. Those who have seen that show will recognize some of these attacks. Apparently Iga was a fan of JoJo.
Good anime. Good one to be a fan of.
Couldn't hurt, couldn't hurt. So there's Magic Seal 4, we need that to get into the boss door. Nice, okay. So pretty good clock tower. I'm gonna get rid of these imps first.
I feel like
Nice.
Iga is definitely one of those developers who has become a character in their own right.
Oh, for sure, and I feel like Iga leans into it. Like with those Kickstarter videos where he was like donning the cowboy hat and the whip. Those were great. But okay, so now we got the first really tough fight of the run. Super easy to die against Zephyr. Let me throw on the right equipment here. Nice. Very good. And we got the seal. That's important. So there we go. That's how Devil works. Your HP is always a concern whenever you're using Devil. But it was bringing my damage up from 10 to 56, which is a gigantic improvement. So that's what we're going to use for all the remaining bosses in the game, except for 2. So we'll have time to talk about this more later, but this whole game was actually revolutionized by a new strat earlier this year. There is a soul that people overlooked for a while, and it's actually the very best weapon in the game. No need for Devil, so it's a little bit of a teaser for you. For now, let's go to the shop, pick some stuff up.
I am definitely intrigued.
Alright, I gotta be careful here. I can't sell the wrong stuff. Alright.
You know, I always wondered, with all the traps and the monsters and everything, God forbid Dracula like has to get up in the middle of the night to go pee.
Yeah, these castle layouts do not seem very visitor friendly. But okay, we just got a whole lot of really nice new stuff here. We got the Masamune. Got a whole bunch of potions, which is cool. As you can imagine, with Devil strats, we want some healing. Otherwise, you'd be stuck at 1 HP. Now, the nice thing about Devil, it won't kill you, but it will leave you at 1 HP, so better to avoid that. So we do have another farm coming up. This enemy is very quick to kill, which is good. The downside is the soul drop rate is actually a little bit under 4%. So not good. Let's press another button here. This one is actually not useful for combat, really, but it's required, because much like Arya, to get the true ending, there are 3 souls you need to get to a certain area. One of them is Ukobak here, the other one is Axe Armor, which we already have, and the third one is Killer Clown, which we'll be seeing later. So yeah, now would be a great time for donations if anybody's feeling generous.
You know, I can definitely talk about the great charity that we are raising money for today. We are raising money for RAD, or Rise Above the Disorder. They help by providing access to healthcare to those who would otherwise not have access, either by availability in their area or affordability. If you do have it to give, I greatly encourage you to type !donate in chat, go to the link and give what you can. And if you want to give and get something in return, we have an excellent limited edition RBG shirt with Midna riding the RBG Panther. Created by the artist Smashy, it is an amazing shirt, and all the proceeds from that go to the charity as well. It is definitely one that I want to get my hands on.
Well, quick update on the farm. It's not going well. There we go. Hey, nice. Very nice. See, that's the trick, right? If you complain, you get good luck. It's always how it goes. See, that was about average. Could have been worse. Let's go into the secret room, get some really nice armor. Okay, so this is the Silenced Ruin. This whole area is just a Castlevania 1 throwback. I love it. And even the boss of this area is a giant bat. Now in Castlevania 1, that boss is a joke, right? It's basically a tutorial boss. Not so in this category. Very tough fight in this category. So we will save beforehand.
I'm loving this remix. This is nice.
Ooh, bad luck. Nice snipe. Oh, I didn't save. Okay, we're just going for it. I'll be careful, it's fine. Sorry, that was muscle memory from speedruns kicking in.
It's all good. We're gonna all be wishing you luck in chat. So
Yeah, just don't die. It's easy.
yeah, force of our goodwill.
Nice. Okay. So as you can see, the basic strat there is to damage tank with Devil, and that's always scary, because if the trades don't go your way, you can get comboed a little bit. We got it?
I do have to say one of my favorite things to say on stream is, from the creators of Get Good comes Just Don't Die, forehead.
I swear that comes up all the time. It's something I'm always telling myself during runs. It's like, go for the risky strat, because if you're good, nothing will go wrong, and then something goes wrong, and you regret it. But we got away with it there, which I'm happy about. So we're actually making really good progress. We're almost up to the bad ending location. We're going to pop over here and go to the top floor. So the reason we had to do that fight, that gives us Bat, which is flight in this game. So that opens up areas that are locked behind flight. Now, if you remember from the Aria rando, Bat was actually very fast. It was some of the better movement that you could get. Here, Bat is very, very slow, as you can see. Just kind of moseying along. So you actually want to use Bat as little as possible in this game, but there are some places where it can't be avoided.
Is there any difficulty for you in going from one game to another right back to back? As far as
absolutely. that is a skill you got to learn with practice. But yeah, I love this whole series. My ultimate goal is to get a really good speedrun for every game in the series, and it's super tough to jump between them. Yeah, there is some shared tech between the games. Yeah, we're gonna save. Sorry, let me just. I don't want to be too aggressive here. Let me just hit the save point over here. But yeah, there's some overlap, but there are little differences in the mechanics between each of them. So I've kind of made a considered effort to practice switching in real time from one game to the other. So I'm getting better, but yeah, going from Aria to Dawn, for example, there's some things to keep in mind. Okay, so the reason I saved is we got another tough fight. But first, one more farm. This one's not too bad, it's about 5%, and it's a quick kill. Average luck is, I think, what, 12 tries, something like that? So not too bad yet.
If anybody in chat has a clown phobia, this is either incredibly terrifying or incredibly satisfying. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, this soul is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, not as good as the other things we're going to use in the run, but... Okay, we're approaching below average luck territory here, if we don't get it in the next couple.
I feel like because marathon, below average is average.
This run's been very weird. I feel like everything's been basically exactly average. Like, that luck was completely standard. Not lucky, not unlucky, just fine. Which is good. I'll take lucky. Or I'll take average luck. But yeah, so that's gonna let us get in here. As you can see, we need all three of those souls to open these red walls. And this is the paranoia fight. It's a two-parter. The first part is a joke, and the real fight starts in the next room. Nice. Got a 1 round here. That's tough to get. It's a little bit random. If you try to get in a bunch of hits each cycle, that'll increase your chances of getting the 1 round. Yeah, very good. Very good fight. And this soul is required, as we'll see. So up to this point, we've been using that Masamune sword I purchased from Hammer at the shop, and it's been good enough, but unfortunately it's no longer going to work. Thankfully, in this area here, there's a really nice overhead swing weapon called the Durandal, and that'll get the job done for a bit. In fact, this is the very best weapon in the game you can get without farming, and it's not even that good. So what we used to do in this category is you would get this sword and you would use it in combination with the devil for the rest of the game, including the final boss, which was not easy. Now, thankfully, we have that new secret strat I mentioned earlier. So it's only going to be for a couple more fights.
Keep teasing that strat. I'm getting more and more excited to see this. It's always great how runs continually evolve, like even runs that we think are completely settled and in stone, somebody will find a new tech and just blow the run out of the water.
Oh, it's one of my absolute favorite parts of speedrunning is the routing and kind of the community brainstorming for new strats, especially with retro games. Could you think, a game this old? I mean, what else is there really to learn or discover, right? But no, even old retro games, there are brand new things to learn and pick up on. For example, in Castlevania 1, for those who are familiar with that game, there was a brand new screen wrap strat found that saved, like a good 10 seconds in the speedrun, something like that. So, even for the old and very well-traveled games, there's always more to discover, I feel like. You're gonna hop up here, pick up a couple of weapons. One of these I'm going to sell, and this other one's an accessory. Satan's Ring. I'm going to put that on, actually. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and there's never a time to get into speedrunning like the present. There are so many great communities that are willing to help you out and teach you your first run. So if you're enjoying what you're looking at today, definitely check out, find a game you love, and start running.
Absolutely. Speedrunning is a very welcoming hobby. Okay, well, this is a bad start, but that's alright. We got plenty of healing. See, this is a Goonie. This is maybe the scariest fight in the run. Hits hard. You can get comboed as well, which is not good. Okay, not bad. Now, unfortunately, there are certain cutscenes in this game, like this one, that are not skippable. This one's not too long, but there's one coming up that's a good, like, minute and a half, and you gotta just mash through it. That's kind of a downer, but no big deal. Alright, so I'm gonna pick up this here. This is the final magic seal. We're gonna kind of make our way back to the warp point. Now,
I feel like if anybody wants to stress test their controllers, they should just let speedrunners like run on their games for a while.
So up to this point, all of our equipment builds have been focused on strength, right? We're using almost exclusively weapons during the boss fights, so strength is what matters. However, if you want to increase your soul damage, the stat that matters is intelligence or int. And that Satan ring we picked up, that gives a nice intelligence bump. I also picked up something called the Elfin Robe earlier, which is that green tunic from about the halfway point of the run. We're also going to see that too. So yeah, we got one more fight that's going to use the Durandal, then we're going to switch over. First, the one more shop trip. And this is going to be for stacking up on all the high potions and high mind ups I can.
Do want to just get in another reminder that we do have some incentive polls going on for the Mega Man block. We've got X versus 0, so if you have a preference there, get in those ads and you can influence that next spot.
So coming up is that unskippable cutscene I mentioned earlier. You have to have Mina's talisman equipped or you get the worst ending. That's the end of the run. I have made that mistake before during attempts. I'll forget to equip it on good pace and it's all over. So we're going to just quickly double check here. Okay, Mina's talisman. All right, everybody saw it. If I don't get this, the game robbed me. Okay, we got it. That always makes me a little nervous, no matter how many times I check. Because if you don't get that, I would have lost like over 5 minutes, so we're fine. So this is going to be revealing a key plot point of the game, which is Dimitri is not in fact dead. And Dimitri, or at least some version of Dimitri, is going to end up being this game's final fight. Let's talk a little bit about the final fight here. It's called Menace. It's extremely infamous among speedrunners. It's one of the very toughest Castlevania bosses. Super easy to die. So deaths are not uncommon. But with the new strat I keep teasing, it's actually not so bad. So I suppose now's a good time to finally reveal what's going on here. So like I said, ordinarily what we would do is we would use our typical Durandal plus Devil strat for the last couple bosses, but there is a soul called the Malakota Soul. It's one of the very last enemies in the game. It's only found in the Abyss, which is the final area. And it's a really strong soul, but it kind of got overlooked for a while. However, it turns out that because it has such a low MP cost, it's actually the fastest way to defeat the final fight, and it saves minutes. In this category, for example, it saves, I would say, about 2 minutes, maybe more like 3. In other categories, it can save 5+ minutes, so it's quite significant. And yeah, on the point about new games or retro games getting new discoveries, this track's really only a couple months old at this point, a few months old.
And that's a chunky time save, too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. For example, in any percent, the current time is a little bit under 15 minutes. And without Malacoda, that would be at least a couple minutes faster on such a short run. So, yeah. It's a big deal. There is a downside, though. There's a very big downside to the Malacoda Soul. Before talking about that, because we're going to have plenty of time to talk about the downsides of Malacoda, let me focus a little bit on death here. This fight's tough. Once again, we're going to use Devil. Okay, there's phase 1. Oh, he still got me, huh? I think I mistimed that dive kick a little bit. No big deal. Should be getting close here. Nice. Okay, that's the hardest seal in the game to get. Got it first try. I have messed that up countless times. But alright, really good run so far. Out of curiosity, what's the current time on this run?
We are going to be right at 43 and probably a few seconds.
Okay, so we're on great pace. We're on great pace. Because we're almost at the end here. So this is the final area of the game, the Abyss. We're quite under-leveled. Very tough area with a lot of strong enemies. We're gonna get some nice stuff here. Here's the first one. This is Hippogriff. Works the same way it does in Aria. Press L, you fly up. Much faster than the bat. Oh, whoops. Well, let me kill this thing again.
I don't know if I was the only one turned off as a kid about hearts being ammo and not health.
It's pretty interesting. I don't think any other game series works that way. Definitely quite unique. Often in these Castlevania speedruns, hearts are actually more important than they are casually. Because casually, you can go to a save or buy a bunch of mana healing items, so it's not a huge deal. But in these kind of games, though, not so much in this one, actually, but in Aria of Sorrow, for example, hearts can matter a lot. So it's faster to kind of get them as you go. compared to taking a bunch of detours. But okay, here we go. It's time for the infamous Malakota farm. That's not the right weapon. Hang on. This, and yep, there we go. So the upside to Malakota, it's extremely strong. It uses almost no MP. It's got excellent range, which makes it uniquely good on the final fight. The downside is the soul drop rate. It is 2.35%. Let me just say that again. It is 2.35%. That is atrocious. And a lot of runs in this game boil down to play as well as you can, get to this point, and then just roll the dice, see what happens. It doesn't take too long to kill each of them, as you can see. It's like a couple seconds, not a big deal. But this really adds up. The difference between first try and like 20th try is minutes. So that's what we're waiting on here. But I promise it'll be worth it, both because it'll make the final fight a lot quicker, and I think it'll be great to show off some of the new strats for this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, it's super cool seeing new tech. At least I know I enjoy seeing new tech.
Thank you. So Malakota, I have like 2 or 3 talking points to fill time during this grind. Hopefully it doesn't take too much longer than that. But yeah, this is a character from Dante's Inferno. It literally means evil tail in Italian, which is fitting because we're going to have a tail attack when we have the soul equipped. I'd also like to highlight something. This game, I love this game to bits. I think it's a great speed game. But like a lot of other popular speed games, luck is a huge part of it. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, this is a great one to pick up. If you don't, this one's probably not for you. However, in a lot of ways, this is not typical. So for example, in Aria of Sorrow, this game's prequel and my personal favorite, you'd think there would be a lot of RNG in that game, but that game has highly consistent RNG manipulation. So in Aria, whenever you suspend the game and reload, you'll get the same RNG tables every time. So if you act in the same way, you'll get the same result, and it's often pretty easy to manipulate, though it depends on which enemy you're trying to manipulate. So if you're interested in a more skill-intensive as opposed to luck-intensive Castlevania speedrun, Aria is one of the ones I would personally recommend.
Now, have you ever had it where the item drops, but you accidentally off-screened?
I'd rather not talk about it. The answer is yes, that has happened. I've gotten a lot better at it. In fact, I actually grinded that off-stream. I was like, it happened, and I wanted it to never happen again. So there's like an audio cue you can use in addition to a visual cue. Once it spawns, it'll be very easy to see it. Like that. Nice, nice. So once again, basically average. Basically average. All right. I'm pumped.
Which, like I've said before, that's above average for marathon luck.
Exactly right. You gotta set your expectations. So a couple things I want to draw your attention to. Take a look at the damage, of course. Also take a look at how much MP it's using from that green MP bar at the upper left. You'll be quite surprised at how little it's using. So Elfin Robe and Malakota. That looks good.
Oh, that is nice.
And that's Abaddon.
Wow.
As you can see, this soul really is something else. It's almost like a lasso in the way it works, but you can jump cancel it, which makes it super fast too. See, hopefully that was worth the wait. And we're gonna see it again on Menace. It's super good on Menace.
Yeah, that was almost a direct counter to that boss. That was pretty sick.
It's wild, right? Yeah. I have never gotten Black Panther in a marathon. So in Aria, Black Panther, that soul that lets you go super quick, that's something you always get in the vanilla game after the Graham fight. Here, though, I'm not sure why the designers decided to make it a random enemy drop. Thankfully, it's pretty common by Dawn standards, but still not very common. It's about a 1 in 8 drop rate. But we got it. Nice. See, here's what that looks like. Very, very speedy.
I mean, it's got to be because of the panther that's on that great shirt, right? I feel like that's got to be a correlation right there. So if you want to pick up your very own panther, you can type !merch in chat, and you too can pick up a panther.
So yeah, this soul is quite rare. In fact, the record does not even have panther, if I recall correctly. So it's nice to have it here in a marathon. Anyway, here's a Menace. I'm just going to show this off. Hang on. If I use the best sword in the game, it's doing 44. Malakota, 130. That's the difference.
That is a chunky difference.
Okay, 2 more cores left. Both of these have 3,000 HP. Okay, one more. Time is going to be coming up pretty soon here. And time. That was a perfect Menace fight. Really happy with that one. Excellent. That's a great run. Especially given the not excellent luck earlier. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, good run. Very good run.
And that was flipping awesome. I loved watching that. And we still have one more Castlevania game coming up. We have Symphony of the Night. Holy crap! If I can speak, coming up right after this one. So be sure to stick around for that one too.